Hi, my name is Nick, and this week I watched The Brother's Son. And before I get too far into it, I just want to say that it's like -4 degrees here, Fahrenheit. So I've been basically stuck inside this whole week, and I haven't really been able to do anything, except I've been binging Netflix. And something that caught my eye and caught my attention earlier in the week was that I heard really good things about this new show called The Brother's Son. And so I was like, yeah, I can go check it out. And that's what I did. I watched the whole thing in probably 2 days, and then I rewatched it, and I'm still getting through my rewatch, but I'm having a blast. I really didn't expect to like this show because I didn't really know anything about it. The only thing I knew was that Michelle Yeoh was in it, but I didn't really look past that when I was doing my initial research of just looking on the Netflix dashboard and deciding what to watch. So with that, I thought I would give a few of my thoughts about this show that I think is going to become one of the shows that I will rewatch and rewatch and rewatch for many years to come. It's a very endearing show. It has like a lot of like fun moments in it. I think it's a lot funnier than it should be. There's no reason it should be as funny as it is, but it's very, very funny and charming to me. But anyways, let's get into my review for this show. So the premise of the show is that there's this family, and half of the family is still in Asia, and the other half is in America. And the part that is in Asia they're part of this group called the Jade Dragons, which is a triad, and basically I think it's akin to the mafia. And they are very high up. This is like the dad is number one, and the son is number two, basically. And on the other side, it's the mom and the other son, and they're just a normal family who lives in Los Angeles. The mom is a nurse, and the other son is just a guy who's trying to get into med school, but in reality, he really wants to pursue his dream of being in an improv group. And basically what happens is that the older son is attacked, and the dad goes into a coma, and they don't know if he's going to make it or not. So the other son comes into America to try to figure out who did this and what to do next. Meanwhile, the younger son has no idea about anything that's going on. He has no idea of how this is supposed to play out, and he's just trying to figure it out while no one really tells him anything. The mom basically just tells him, hey, you need to go, and you need to like just go to school, keep acting like everything's normal. But in the background of his life, all these things are happening. His brother wants him to join the family and protect it, and he is kind of like, I don't even know where to begin with all of this. And basically it boils up into this big like event, basically, where they're trying to organize all the different families and all the different groups from the other triads, and they're just trying to make sense of it all. They're trying to figure out what to do, who to go after next, and like who's even going after them, because it's basically a show where there's a big mystery, and the whole mystery is that they don't know why they're being attacked. They find like little relics and little remnants of things that like people are wearing who get after them, or people say certain things who are attacking them, but there's not really any group that they know of that would go after them this hard. So it's a really fun mystery. It's really fun, like wild ride, and it sounds like it should be very serious, but the whole time it's very funny. The way that the two brothers interact is very charming. I think the way that the whole family acts is very fun and happy. It makes me kind of reminisce about my college days of, not really knowing who I am and like trying to figure it out, but having like overwhelming other factors involved of making the decision for me. There's also like a ton of really interesting and fun side characters. I don't think there was a single side character that I disliked. All of them were really great. And so like these people who come from all these different backgrounds and are interacting with one another, it's very funny to see how they interact with each other. It's really amazing. I've really enjoyed it. There are scenes with the police and just like this woman who's in the district attorney's office, and she's trying to move her way up, and she's trying to, figure out how to turn this into a big story so she can get a lot of credit and she can really enhance her career. So it's really interesting to see from her point of view as well. I love the older son, Charles. He's definitely my favorite character. He is like this brutish dude who has a very interesting and fun soft side to him. He's like obsessed with baking. He's really into the Great British Bake Off, which I love. I think it makes him like feel so full as a character. I mean, all the characters feel full. Even the younger brother, Bruce, he feels really fun too, because he's trying to appease his mom by going on this med school path. but he doesn't really want to go to med school. He kind of wants to try improv, but he's using all of his tuition money to funnel it into his improv career as he's trying to like get into these like auditions and other things. But at the same time, he's trying to like sit there and say like, is this really worth it for me? Or is it like, I know I'm like good at the studying the school part, but like, do I really want to commit even more to this, even more to like this path, even though there's something that I would rather very much do than study. And now I'm going to get into probably the spoilery talks. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend stopping the video here and coming back later, or not. But anyways, here are my spoiler thoughts. I absolutely loved that Michelle Yeoh has this grand moment where everyone thinks that all she can do is really talk and network and all these things. And it turns out she's like an amazing fighter. She's not only someone who's good with information, but someone who knows how to use it super well. She can totally transform a room just by entering it. And I loved her performance. Like, I really thought that Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to be my favorite performance of hers, but this one I think even tops it. I think that she really is the glue that holds it all together. The way that she has her Mahjong group, the way that she is known as like the Rolodex in the community, I think is really interesting. And I just love her. I think that she's really great. There's a moment where you think it may not work out perfectly for her, but she finds a way to kind of like piece it together and use what she has and really, transform the family. Speaking of transformations, I loved Bruce's transformation in this. He really comes across as like really genuine the whole show. You don't think that like nothing that happens to him or nothing that he does to me feels like it shouldn't have happened. So I've absolutely loved like all of his decisions. I think it makes sense that he was the one that the group was after at the end, because he was the one who was the weakest link. And I mean weakest link isn't he knows the least about what is really going on, so he kind of has to be the one who they were going to go and pick after. But I really liked how Bruce really uses his intelligence and like his just demeanor to really get through to people. I think it's a really interesting way to use him as a character instead of having him like transform into this like mega fighter or something crazy that would have been like in the halfway point of the show, which I'm really glad that they didn't do. That they kept him grounded in his physical abilities but kept him really high in his mental ones. For instance, like him learning the map, which I know was kind of a ploy to use by the mom, but he was really the one who was able to pick up on it really fast and really able to get all that information to his head really quickly, which I thought was a really cool plot point. And then, as I mentioned before, Charles is my favorite. Blood Boots is really close, but I think he wasn't in the show long enough for me to say that he was my favorite. I think I needed more scenes with him. But for Charles, I just really appreciated how the whole time he's kind of going through this like fight in his mind where he comes off as this like really strong, really like brutish guy, but he really does have a soft side, and the whole time is trying for him to balance it, or even find out if there is a balance at all, if there's any way for him to be his own person. I think that's like the whole point of the show is really to explore who you are as a person, and I've really enjoyed it. I like the take on it. I thought that it was really interesting, and I just really enjoyed it a lot. I thought all of the fight scenes and all the choreography was really cool. I really just don't have any complaints for this show, to be honest. I really loved it thoroughly, and like I said, I'm still rewatching it right now. That's how much I liked it. Usually I watch a show and then I'll just put it down and never see it again, except for some like Parks and Rec and The Office, and now The Brother's Son. So anyways, for me personally, I give this show a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. I will continue to watch it for a very long time. And if you also enjoyed it, or if you hated it, you can leave your thoughts down in the comments, and I will be back next week with another review. Okay, bye.